going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Now, this is your mama's favorite podcast, your daddy's favorite podcast, your sister's favorite podcast, but if you're a New York Jets fan, it may not be your favorite podcast. Anywho, listen, I'm so happy you guys are tuning in. In this episode, I got special guests with me, Mike and Isaac, joining me today, and we're going to break down the entire free agency for all four teams in the AFC East. And each team is going to be getting a grade. Stay tuned because you don't want to miss this.
Time to tune in. Now another sports center. It's a movement.
Talk free agency grades. Now we're going to go ahead and start it off with the AFC East. AFC East. Before I say this, it's like, before Tom Brady took and went over to the Buccaneers, it was literally just Tom Brady and the Patriots division. That's pretty much what it was. It's like the big buff brother who has three little brothers he just beats up all the time. But those brothers have hit puberty. They got hair in their underarms and other places, and they got muscles, big old muscles. Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills real quick, man. But they got a few really great people on their team, man. They got I'm not gonna say Mitch Trubisky is a good signing, but maybe in a better system for a better team and a better organization, perhaps he could do better if in the event Josh Allen takes and goes down. They got Matt Breida to they definitely needed to add more diversity to their backfield. So getting speedsters like Matt Breida and Tywan Jones, definitely gonna take and do that. Isaiah McKenzie, dude is a beast. They got him on a 1-year deal. They definitely want to keep that squad together as much as possible. Over that, they got, John Feliciano, 3-year contract, super dope O-lineman. Check his highlights out. Effie Obata, really good too. And of course, they got punter Matt Hack from the Dolphins, one of the best punters in the league. That hurt my soul very much. Overall, I really like what they've done. I feel like they could have did a little better on running back. But overall, I'm going to take and give them a B+, because when you have a team that complete, there's only so many players that you could take and sign. For them to make moves like that keeps them very competitive. You can definitely expect them to take and be in the Super Bowl picture as far as at least in that conversation. So I give them a B+. Next team I'm going to take and talk about is going to take and be, you guys already know, the Patriots, the old New England Patriots. So they signed Cam Newton. Did you guys, Isaac, Mike, let me ask y'all something, man. Did you guys take and see that happening?
I did not. I thought they would have been a team to make an offer on Garoppolo. That was like kind of my sleeper move that they would do, because the 49ers haven't been high. But I think Cam Newton being in that system another year and them getting them a few weapons is they could make some noise, man. But I definitely didn't see it happening. Yeah,
me too. It caught pretty much the whole world by storm. And Cam Newton, I mean, his mindset has changed. He's went from a me, I to we, us. I feel like he kind of needed that hiatus from NFL where it took forever for an NFL team to sign him because a lot of teams were scared of the ego. Which Cam Newton are we going to get? And he had times last year where he really did good. He had times where he played really bad, But granted, they got James White, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Byrne, Hunter Henry, one of the definitely a top 5 tight end in the National Football League, if not top 6. Jonnu Smith. So that's double tight ends right there for you. Andrews, Karras, David Godchild from Miami, Lawrence Guy. I mean, the big names going. Matt Judon, man, coming over from the Baltimore Ravens. Kyle Van Noy, he's gonna be on a revenge tour playing against Miami this year. You can expect that. Raekwon McMillan, also former Dolphin. Now he's gonna take and be a Patriot. Then you got guys like Jalen Mills, Cody Davis, Nick Folk, and Justin Bethel. Guys, I'm going to say this. I don't give good grades. I'm that strict teacher when it comes to grade NFL teams. I give them an A. I give them an A, man. What you guys think about that?
I think I feel like they definitely plugged a lot of holes that they have. Some might say they probably threw a lot of money to kind of overcompensate for the fact that maybe some of their draft picks haven't worked out, but that's another story. But I mean, a lot of the guys they signed are really good fits. So I mean, I can't hate it. We'll see how it works out because I mean, at the end of the day, that is a lot of money that you're spending on outside players. But if they all buy into the Patriot way, I could work out. And like you said, Cam is year 2. He showed flashes last year, so I don't really see him regressing too bad, barring, God forbid, an injury or anything like that. I can kind of see him progressing in that system. So, I mean, I kind of like what they have. It's an interesting team, I'll say.
Yeah.
I think the Matt Judon and the Jonnu Smith signings for them were like huge because Matt Judon is a player, and then Bill Belichick's a genius. And then you see the New England teams are really dominated. They had two good tight ends. They had a few weapons. So I think Cam Newton throwing to those two tight ends, like Cam Newton's best seasons came with Greg Olsen in his prime. So I think throwing those two tight ends at them, they're gonna be a problem, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we take it down over to the New York Jets. Okay. Literally, just about 3.5 hours from Foxborough, man. You got 3.5-4 hours from Foxborough. We got the New York Jets. Guys, I mean, the Jets have been terrible since forever. I mean, the last time they had a good team, I think Chad Pennington, was there. You had guys, I think of the years where they had Curtis Martin and stuff like that. And they were a decent organization. Then they just stunk. And they add the extra stench to the already gangrene jerseys. But let's see what they got. They got Josh Adams, is a re-signed contract. Never heard of him before. I'm a football whiz. Never heard of him before. They got Tevin Coleman. I know that name. That guy's a baller. Definitely pretty good. Keelan Cole, Corey Davis, probably the highlight of their free agency. Corey Davis is definitely, they got him on a 3-year, $37.5 million contract via Ian Rappaport. That's super dope. Kyler Croft, Dan Freeney, Vinny Curry, Carl Lawson, Sheldon Rankins. That's a really good pickup right there. Gerard Davis is one. I don't know if you guys remember Gerard Davis. He was in the NFL draft roughly about 4 years ago, I believe it was. And he went to Detroit Lions. I think he was 24th overall, maybe 22nd overall, somewhere in that ballpark. But dude was a baller, man, in college, man. He was supposed to be the next great linebacker. And for whatever reason, it just didn't work out in Detroit. But he got a 1-year, $7 million deal. So this could possibly turn around for him. Then you got other guys, Marcus May, Justin Hardy, and then LaMarcus Joyner. Overall, I like it. But if they're talking about getting a quarterback, you would think that they would invest a little bit more in their O-line and free agency. Even just one guy. Now they got Dan Feeney. I definitely like that pickup, but overall, I'm going to take and ultimately give them a C+. I really like the wide receiver signing. I like the new addition and Tevin Coleman in the backfield. But overall, I think they could do a lot better. And then, well, hey, keep your prayers together for anybody who becomes a quarterback of that team, because just because you're really good come out of college, that doesn't mean you can't get your head knocked off. And well, the Jets are known for letting that happen to their quarterback. So do you guys think that's a fair analysis, or you guys go lower?
I think you're being generous. I give them a D. You know what I'm saying? Like the best signing they had was Carl Lawson. Like Carl Lawson's a baller for real. That was a phenomenal signing. But if Corey Davis is the best, and I think that could be an underrated sign. I could be wrong, but you hit something so important. Their O-line was atrocious last year, right? When the Broncos played their O-line, they made us look like it was a Super Bowl 50 team. Like their line is bad. So I felt like they should have invested a little bit more. There's a few players, a few teams pretty much overhauled the whole offensive line. I think they put themselves in a position where they're going to have to hit their draft picks on the O-line, or whatever quarterback they may draft is going to be like running for his life the whole time. Like I think some of the moves are good, but the fact that they didn't address the O-line, like I couldn't give them a average grade, because that they're going to have a problem,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Isaac, what you think?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way Mike does. D, C-. Like, I mean, that team needs a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? You're picking, like we were, second overall, so. But I think that when it comes to Corey Davis, I tend to stay away from receivers, especially that have been mediocre to maybe good. And then all of a sudden in a contract year, you ball out, because that tells me you didn't care this whole time, but now it's time to get paid. You balled out. Now you got paid. Are you going to have that same drive and want to, going forward, especially with a potentially rookie quarterback, unless they decide to keep Sam Darnold for another year. So it's interesting, like you said, he might ball out, maybe that light click, because he was a beast up in Central Michigan. So hopefully, that continues for him, but it'll be interesting going forward to see how he how he plays for the Jets.
Absolutely. Thank you for that analysis from both of you guys. Now, of course, you got my squad, man. We got the Miami Dolphins. Dirty Dolphins, man, out here making moves, making mafia moves. Now, to kick it off, man, Jacoby Brissett, definitely top one, top two, possibly backup quarterback in the league, man. Could questionably even start. Unfortunately, Phillip Rivers came on over and kind of ruined that for him. And I'll be honest with you, I think Jacoby Brissett, in my opinion, could have won just as many games as Phillip Rivers. This is my opinion. But nonetheless, he's on the Miami Dolphins, got him on a 1-year, $5 million deal. Very team-friendly, which is super dope. Got Malcolm Brown, absolute north-south runner. Very exciting. That backfield definitely needs to be spiced up. Granted, Myles Gaskin did a really good job this year, all things considered, with our O-line and stuff. But taking and having Malcolm Brown back there is going to be a good big brother to take and have. Got Matt Collins, speedster. Didn't get a whole lot of touches from the ball, but he's a wide receiver. He re-signed Adam Pankey, O-lineman. Didn't get to see too much of him. Well, I would say Isaiah Wilson, but they cut him faster than you could say Timbuktu. They cut him faster than you could say Miami Dolphins. They cut him faster than a teenage depressed girl cuts her arms. Oh, that's not a funny joke. Anywho, he got cut. He's out of there. So we'll just leave him off the list. YouTube don't monetize me. It's a poor tasting joke. Sorry. They got Will Fuller. They signed him to a 1-year, $10 million deal. Man, and what's exciting about this is, again, team friendly. This is a team that's fiscally conservative. No person is above the team. So if you think that you could do better, David Godchow, you can go to New England. You can take and go to those places. But here on the Miami Dolphins, there's no I in team. There's only us. So that's one thing I like. They got Madam Sakura. He was a starting center right underneath Lamar Jackson over there for the Baltimore Ravens. Great pickup. Mind you, he only takes in ultimately replaces the previous center that we have, who's now over on the New England Patriots. Adam Butler, starting defensive tackle for the New England Patriots. He's now there now. Benedrick McKinney, excuse me for butchering his name. They traded him to Texans. In return, they gave up Shaq Lawson. But linebacker, that's definitely a need for our team. And I like that. We re-signed Landon Roberts, Brendan Scarlett. He was another guy who took and worked with McKinney over there in Houston. So those guys have chemistry, which you'll find with the Dolphins is they'll bring somebody in, but they'll bring a teammate from the past team. Hence Michael Gaskin and Ahmed over and for the Washington Huskies. It's a reoccurring thing for Miami, and they want to take it. They really want that family vibe over there, and guys who take and play together as a team. Plus, again, lots of team-friendly deals. They got cornerback Justin Coleman for a 1-year deal for $2.75 million. And then, of course, they got punter Michael Party. I like all these picks. I would have liked them take and go after more O-linemen, to be honest with you. But I like it. Ultimately, I'm going to take and give the Miami Dolphins an A-. I really like it. That would be the only area of opportunity is going to be that O-line, because you bring him back to it for another year. We still need, at least one starter between rounds 1 and 2 who's going to take and start right away. We could possibly land a Landon Dickerson, Alex Leatherwood, possibly. But ultimately you want to have a very strong free agency. So that way, when the draft comes, you're just adding layers to what you already have. So, or at least, patch, you can't put Band-Aids on gunshot wounds. That's what the Jets are trying to do. But when it comes to Miami Dolphins, they got Band-Aids and they're going to heal real nice, but it takes and it starts with getting good old linemen. So we'll give them a perfect A. That's my favorite team. Y'all know me. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm going to take and give them an A- on that one.
Man, I agree 100%. I would even maybe give them that A+ if we're including some of the trades they made this past, last few days, because they put themselves in a position with them trades to get whatever the top option is, whether that's Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, etc. They added a Will Fuller. I absolutely loved the Jacoby Brissett signing, because I think that's a perfect mentor, very unselfish man. He can ball out. He doesn't turn the ball over. That's a phenomenal mentor for Tua, So I think they made a few moves. Adam Butler, I think, was a very underrated signing, because I watched him coming out and I felt like, with some coaching, and I like Brian Flores. So I think that could be a signing that in a year from now we talk about, like, hey man, this guy potentially, is in the Pro Bowl conversation, et cetera. So I think if you include the trades, I'd have to bump them up to A, and they really filled holes that you're right with the offensive line thing, but the Isaiah Wilson, even though they cut him, a 7th round draft pick is a flyer. He was a 1st round draft pick a year ago. So if that would have worked out, that would have been an A+. It didn't work out, obviously, but they didn't really lose anything to take a risk on somebody that was the 1st round talent. So I think they honestly had one of the best off seasons, man, so far. I think they crushed it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Isaac, what's your thoughts, man?
No, I agree wholeheartedly. And y'all's front office is showing that y'all have the wherewithal to A, take advantage of other teams' misery, and B, stack up with ammo for the future to whether it's you want to move up, get somebody you want, or move back and accumulate more potential shots at more talent. So it's and like you said, filling up all the holes that you had on the team pretty solidly. I think Miami set themselves up to be up there for a while, and they've shown they're competent, very savvy within the division, within the NFL at large. So it's going to be exciting to watch them down in South Beach for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for your feedback.
Time to tune in. Now another sports center. It's a movement.